G'day Spurs fans, Paul the Hotspur hippie here, the only psychedelic soccer show on the internet. It's a sweltering day here in sunny Sydney, and I've been having some thoughts on the abuse that Sonny and our players get from time to time, and I think this is a new social media generated kind of phenomena. Now, I started going to see Tottenham back in the 84-85 season, and it was a good year, good season, that one, lots of fun. So I was lucky enough to see Steve Perryman do Steve Perryman stuff. In the 85-86 season, it became apparent over a relatively short period of time that unfortunately at last time had caught up with Steve, and it's just a bit short here and there. And I'm not saying this is the case with some, but let's just assume it is. I mean, whatever. Now, the feeling on the shelf was every time Steve got the ball, we were willing him on, man. We were willing him on. Go on, Steve. Go on, Skipper. Bit of hope that maybe it's just a bit of form. Maybe he's got a niggle. And increasing sadness that seeing that maybe Steve's time at Spurs had come to an end after so many years, and eventually he left the club, went to Oxford United. There wasn't one fan, man. There wasn't one fan that would shout things like "Steve, you wanker, 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 wanker," because back in those days, I reckon if you said something like that on the shelf, or you got out of line towards a player, I think people would have sorted you out. I know your friends would have. I think people would have sorted you out. I don't think it would have been tolerated. But times have changed now, haven't they? Because these people... Now, look, we might have felt from time to time that things weren't right or play weren't good or whatever, but you keep it in. You keep it in. You show a bit of class, You recognise that venting it and letting it all out certainly isn't going to help you play better, so you just don't do it. And then you go and chat to your mates afterwards, you let it out over the space of like an hour, and then you just get on with stuff. Whereas now social media and the internet fosters hatred, really. Fosters hatred. So the kinds of people that are capable of saying these sorts of things to players are few and far between. Look, it's a small minority. And before the internet, these idiots would not have found each other. They would have just been spread out amongst the crowd, and none of them would have had the bottle to say anything, because one, they're a bit weak, but two, they would have had a few words said to them to pull their heads in. But now, because of social media and the internet, these pockets, these isolated individuals, these idiots, come in contact with each other. They find each other, and so they form a group. They can back each other up. They can come out with their hate. And I see things being defended under the guise of, yet again, freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. Paying fans, paying working class fans, should be able to say whatever they want to say to millionaire playboy players. And I think people have got a bit of a misunderstanding about freedom of speech, actually. Freedom of speech does not mean that you get to say whatever you want and I have to listen to it, let alone agree with it, don't question it. No, freedom of speech means if you want to say what you want to say, anyone else has got the right to call you for the prat you are. Absolute prat. That's how it works. You don't just get a free pass to come out with bile and get away with it. So I think this is a real new world phenomenon. I think there's a bit of entitlement in there amongst some fans, but I really think it is a question of people being emboldened and finding each other and forming a small, pathetic little group. And it's just a microcosm of how, the internet is. I mean, the amount of people that hide behind their cameras and keyboards, you can bet your ass if one of these people that been slagging off Brennan Johnson or whoever up to the hilt, or even Ange, if they met him in the street, oh, can I have a selfie with you? Can I have a selfie with you? They'd be kissing their arse something chronic. They would not be saying what they're saying in the guise of their in the protection of their own bedrooms with their 15-watt light bulbs at all. At all. I think it's cowardly, absolutely cowardly, and look, it's counterproductive. Like I'm saying, I don't think I have hope that Son has lost a little bit of his edge because he's being overplayed. But whatever, it don't matter. It doesn't matter if time has caught up with him or it's a lack of confidence or a lack of form. When a player like Son, who's done so much for this club, man, so much good stuff over the years, showed incredible loyalty and love for the badge and for the fans that support it, I just don't think in a million years, I don't care if he has a bad season, a bad 2 seasons, whatever, that he deserves treatment like that. I don't think really any player does. Really, it's fine to criticise. That's part of football. It always has. Opinions are part of it. We all, you know, we all love the game. Well, I think most of us love the team, and you're going to share your thoughts on it. But to take it to the next level, where you're screaming in someone's face, or you're screaming, "Come over here," just because you've found a little pocket of twats that you can hang around with, and you can band it together, and people don't pull you up on it anymore. I think it's feeble. Absolutely feeble. So it's another facet of the modern world that we've got to put up with, unfortunately. And you know, I just imagine someone like Yang sitting on the bench thinking, seeing his hero, Son, getting berated by some, I mean, I'm sure the bloke that was shouting, or the people that were shouting at the Son, I'm sure they've got a massive full trophy cabinet of football achievements. My Lord. He might be thinking, why the hell would I want to come here and play for this club? And then, you know, so if we do win a cup, because there's still chances we could win a cup this year, and Son goes up to lift the FA Cup, we'll be there. And those idiots, will they be cheering Son? You know, if I was Son, I'd put, before I pick the cup up, I'd find them out in the crowd. I'd point, right, this is not for you. When we needed you, you weren't there. This ain't for you. This is for the other 97% of fans. I'm just going to assume it's 3%. It's a number I pluck out of my bottom from time to time. I think there's only 3% of real dickheads in the world, and they just screw it up for the rest of us. And then lift the cup for the rest of us. And we can all cheer because we stood by him. But absolutely disgraceful behaviour, cowardly, petulant, and a thing that would never have been tolerated back in the day, because we were there to support the team, even through bad times. You bottle it up, you let it out with your mates, but you don't inflict it all like that on the team, because that does no good. You want them to play well? Well, don't shout stuff like that at them. Give them a bit of encouragement. Look, if it's a terrible performance, like we've had a few on the trot now that haven't been really good, well, they've been real hard watches. Maybe your clap at full time is a bit more half-hearted and you leave the ground quietly. Players get the message that way. You don't need to get in their face and shout obscenities to them. I think it's disgusting. Disgusting. Anyway, I'm looking forward to Hoffenheim 5-0. Peace and love, and come you Spurs.